couple of steps are missing. North end, it's
The year is 1946. That's the year this building was born. That's when its heartbeat began. A heartbeat that could be felt through the community, as well as a heartbeat that kept one of the greatest railroads of all time alive. Great Northern. It's still alive today. That and the BNSF, but this building, this terminal, not only kept a community going, but it kept a railroad going. This building wasn't turned into a coffee shop or OT. This building was built for the railroad. This has been used by the railroad ever since it was built. We're going to join a former Great Northern, Burlington Northern, and BNSF employee through this great building to learn a little bit more about it and, well, wish it well for future years to come. Let's go take a look inside.
you don't recognize that. That is
This is Wilmer Depot, BNSF Wilmer Depot. My name is Gary Nelson, and this is Jack Chose, we're both from Wilmer. But anyway, I began my career here in the building that we're standing in. And made my first trip from this location on September 19th, 1967. I remember it very, very well. It was train number 99 and went up to Breckenridge. We worked from Wilmer to Breckenridge, which is 113 miles. And we laid over at Breckenridge and we returned after our rest period. And we also worked from Wilmer to Minneapolis Junction, which is 93 miles. And we tie up there and then return there after the rest. Wilmer was also the source of supply for the passenger trains that were operated. And in 1967, those were 4 trains. It was number 31 and number 32, the Empire Builder, and number 27, the westbound Western Star, and train number 14, which is Red River train, which originally began on the St. Cloud line. By 1962, they shifted it over on the Wilmer side, so that the number 28, the eastbound Western Star, went through St. Cloud. They made these changes from time to time quite often. "90-some years old. Yes. Oh, that's something.
What do you think? Can we airline this?
Oh, I bet. Wow.
Just think of all the mysteries that are came out of that safe.
It was a storage room.
This would have been the baggage. Yeah, this is it. See,
It's college, you know.
yeah, this was the baggage store.
I remember the baggage carts coming out here.
Yeah.
Collins office was in here.
The baggage carts, the mail truck come down here. So they should be like straight across. We are in the passenger waiting area.
It doesn't look like.
No, like, doors on each side, the street side. The ticket counter will be over here, running from north to south.
How far down?
You know, it's hard to tell. So really, where the players stop. Every train is a turn, so over, go in the direction. But you know, there's an operator, I think, they also, do the dispatching for some of the.
We're going up to next.
Next area would be, here's the original window. So the conductors, the train register will be right here. This is where your conductors will register. Some are registered by tip.
Oh, really?
John Healing in the Empire. Will Swenson on Western Star. Passenger train will register with tip. But on other trains, this is where you sign. And then just on the opposite side over here is like identical side. Well, maybe with bigger windows. Right over, that was where the yard office was. That's where the tags were, tag boards were. All the different colors. Green, yellow, red, and the gold conductors, make them, so on and so forth. The engineers weren't on here because that was done at the wrong place. There was a trainman's locker room. The conductors and brakemen. Well, here it still is.
Not there. Tell you.
A storage primarily, I think. I was down here about, 20 years ago. And, the Art Master was a good friend of mine. They had file cabinets with employee records in it.
Yeah.
And I believe they were alphabetical. And I looked for my dad's, but it wasn't there. No, I didn't even take the look for mine.
Looks like you had water fountains out here at one time. This must have been a furnace room. Then we have no smoking over here. All storage now.
You got windows on both sides. In fact, it's almost the same color as the interior of cabooses.
Right, had a lot of that.
Yeah, there were smaller segments and opposites. You know, for instance, later I'll point out that the approximate area of the claim age. His name was, Pat Hurley, very nice fellow. And then Western Fruit, the agent for Western Fruit was flat. There's a lot of pride in this community.
A lot of people rode the train between here and Twin Cities,
Oh.
going in the morning, do their shopping.
Yeah, they could go down on 32, the builder, they're early risers, they leave here at 4:10. And in the morning, and they could spend a whole day, and they get on board number 31 or westbound Escarville at 9:05, and you get back up here about 1.5 later. So, and likewise, you could go down on number 28, the eastbound Western Star in the afternoon, and spend the evening or whatever, and then you could come back on number 27 the following morning.
Yeah.
In fact, it's probably got a plate on it. They're all, oh, somebody stole the plate. It would have said GN with a brass, typically a brass plate. And as you can see where it's missing. This was baggage, yeah. No, I think it was just a way of identifying it in case it was lost or stolen.
There you go.
Somewhere there was a record of all of these items. There's another one.
And the ST, is that an indicator of anything?
Store department, maybe. Store, that's a store department number. GN 365 ST. I would say store.
What's this other one say?
Was it? Oh, it's in here. Oh, there was.
What's there? I can't read.
Oh, it is. Huh.
Yeah. Well, you had to be strong because these aren't exactly light.
Right.
Look at the wheels on them too, steel. Good bearings. I see they're keeping it for all this heavy stuff over here. It's a nice piece of cardboard to get stored on.
Yeah.
Did you see that map? It's a logo on it that's very interesting. 1944. Whoops, the dependable Rick. Anyway, between the Great Lakes. Very important that
It should go where?
there's a lot of traffic on the Great Lakes. There you go. Especially during the war. Time I was up there, this is all model trains.
Yeah, I participated in an open house that had a whole bunch of memorabilia. At one time, they had 21 divisions. Then they consolidated them down to about, currently maybe like 12.
It's a big change, all that.
Yeah, all this here was lined up with desks, all the way down to these guys. And this is where your individual timekeepers would sit at their desks. For instance, say, one timekeeper might strictly be in charge of Minneapolis, the Twin Cities, switching. Another timekeeper might be strictly dealing with conductors and brake from Wilmer. And of course, as I said, who goes west. There were, with the exception of a couple of local trains, that would be the Hutch local and the Malacca. Hutch local was operated by the Wilmer man. Malacca was operated by the St. Cloud man. Those, Great Britain didn't have any train per se, headquartered in Minneapolis. Wilmer was the base for all of it. We had senior guys that worked passenger. They're moved to St. Paul, Indiana, specifically. But if they're, if they're on vacation, they were relieved by people from Wilmer. It's all these jobs. The mainline passenger and freight along the line. You had the Hutch local, it's all over. You had the Browns Valley local, you had the Dearborn local, you had the Aberdeen local, which actually ran out of Breckenridge, Aberdeen, back to Rock. Side trip towards the water company. Yeah, that was 529 and 530. Is that train? So
A lot of those. How many of those are doodle bugs?
back in the day, the doodle bugs ended in September of 1959. The doodle bug that ran from Wilmer, Benson, Water County here was trains 185 and 186.
Out of here.
Here. The doodle bug or what? Oh, it wasn't the doodle, local branch line passenger combination. The Hutch was train 61,
Yeah.
60. I think there was some other, they all had numbers, but I can't remember.
I was thinking of the Hutchins.
God, this is a good deal.
Look at this one guy.
That's a system, yeah, that's a system. Yeah, that would be 1 year after the,
So when I go south out of Wilmer, all the way to Kansas City,
that way get on the Sioux City. And then it runs down to Ashland, Omaha, Lincoln. This January 1996 would be the origin of the BNSF. The merger occurred on September 22nd, 1995. But technically, it
That's
wasn't the BNSF until January 96. So this would be an original first time merger.
so I could go every place except from Sacramento to on CNS.
Now you can because you have tractor sticks.
They got that.
You know, before the mergers and stuff, if you had lumber for Texas, it would come over to Havre down in Great Falls, Billings, go down the Q, go this way. And then go all the way around to stay on the same
Wow.
railroad.
So when the fuselages that were going, how did that go?
So it would go up either this way or this way, up here to Wilmer, and then west. 420 had the loaded going cars going north, headed for Everett. 419 would have no empty cars, because whether those cars, those canopy cars were empty or loaded, the restriction too tall. So then it was the 419 would handle empties back first.
It'll be a quiz on what color that locomotive is.
Your 88 trains and 8 nights or something.
Yeah.
Occasionally going down 16 and extension.
Okay.
Because I remember when I started braking, in order something to come up with a phrase or something, to remember
Right.
an item. Well, the phrase I made up in my mind to remember when you're heading, want to go into track 16, I would say to myself, yellow, green gets you to 16. So I did 2 yellow targets and green, then you're in 16. Right about here was the dispatch. This is the dispatch. he had a big CTC board. CTC to, was 214.
Really?
And right next door to that, this was the Herb Walker's office. He was the chief clerk. He had a door that was two. And the next door here was the train master. Prior to being a train master, this job, what ranking officer in Wilmer up until 1966 was assistant superintendent. Prior to that, the home division superintendent was Cameron. He was the superintendent here for a long time. Then they moved the superintendency. So then they downgraded this to assistant superintendent. Paul Rasmussen had that position in 1966, at which time he got appointed superintendent. And the person who assumed this position after him was not an assistant. So anyway, this is the train master.
The train master is now the head of things in town here. Train master would be the people right here in Wilmington.
Actually, it's called he's a terminal man.
Yeah.
And this, I'm not sure. I think this might have been somewhere here was the beginning of this whole end down here was. Hey, how are you guys? This is all disbursement of county. This is we're all full array of words. Just like they had on that end. That end dealt with payroll, and this end paid the bills of the railroad, the train, buses, the train. Now, the interesting thing is you've been to Haver's got the identical building.
Oh, it's identical to this one?
It is. It is. I can't state to the sides or not. It's as long, but it's built the same.
Now we're gonna go down back to the main floor
Yeah.
and then finish out on the east end of the east.
Yeah, exactly. I remember back in the no, it was actually in the 70s. After the merger,
Yeah.
Switchman here, one was going to retire. I think they were Johnsons. They were like cousins or something. So they're going to have a coffee here for them. But the one Johnson had a horse. And so they opened the door and he rode the horse in here. And that guy's coffee party included the horse. Yeah, exactly.
Very little.
So,
Hey, what are we going into now?
well, this was locked here. And then this was yard office. I think it came back at least here.
Went back that far?
The remainder of the building,
We can see on the floor.
yeah. The remainder of the building from this point on, so the yard office comes this far. And the remainder of the building was the claim agent and the WFE.
Is the fund seat still being used?
Oh, goodness, yes.
Thank you. Here we go. Back out in the sunshine again.
This building's future looks bright. A big thanks to Gary and Jack for taking the time to walk through this whole relic, to share the stories of what happened in the past and what the building is currently being used for. Being used for the railroad. But we all know this building wouldn't be where it's at if it weren't for the people. And well, things are looking great. For those people that walk in and out of these doors, whether it was to board a train or show up for a day's work, it's those people that gave this building a heartbeat. It's those people that brought the railroad to life. So when you're just driving through a town and you look out your window and say, oh, there's a depot. That building had purpose. This building has a purpose. And the purpose was bringing the community together. That heartbeat for the railroad. Because if it weren't for this building, well, these cars would move. If it weren't for the people, those locomotives wouldn't move. And if it wasn't for a building like the Wilbur Depot, well, things would be a lot different. So next time you're cruising down the road and you look out your window and you see a building like that, think about the heartbeat. Think about the people.
All right, thank you. So thank you to Bill Sampson for allowing us to use this. Bill Tillman? Bill filmed it, that was Bill's voice. If you listen to any of his through the Milwaukee roads, you'll recognize he does that occasionally. Somewhere between the curmudgeon and the, who's the other guy who's done usually. So here's a came out Highway 12. You came along this line. This is the Wilmer line. It's now single track. It used to be double track, all the way from Minneapolis out. And you can still see a lot of Yesterday, on the way out, I was wanting us to get the food train. One was another, I think windshield was, I didn't catch that. I was welcome. One time, I recall the most passenger traffic went up to a 6-mile line. Came off this line. In Wilbur, they have one map, 4 lines in Wilbur, now they still fly out. They're looking at that Franklin by at 2:30 today. Way up to the district center, you go out to the highway here to the left, get up to the stoplight to the right, and just short of 71 there, you get left on Frontage Road, and it's down a few blocks. Candy, Ohio County, Candy, Ohio, just each for this guy, about this guy, where they ran, when they cut off the actual police. Was that just one for 50?
Did you say you're looking for historians?
I tried to contact.
Otherwise, it's Rich Ramirez and look in the archives. So
I know, 6 months I've been trying to get him.
Mertz goes to or something.
Yeah. I don't know if the folks would, that does do a lot of the MP historical society things. He's telling me that the engineer that trying to make an enormous amount of money because they get paid for having all kinds of things. All the school books, stuff.
And you repeat the directions again to the,
Certainly. So on the east side of the building and go north, you get on Highway 12, that's the stoplight.
Yeah.
Take a left, go down to the next stoplight, take a right. Yeah. Stoplight. And then, you go over the railroad. And then, it's a left on. I am. H-I-G-H. Okay, H-I-G-H-M.
It's hard because I got almost.
Every year, the, real estate division has been holding a picnic at the depot, that's right here, right about where this guy's standing. And we usually catch a train or two. This year, in addition to the whole, it's blue picnic in Plymouth on the Canadian Pacific. So, if you're in the Twin Cities, you'd like to come, the information is all on the Twin Cities Vision website, bcdmra.org. Well, you can RSVP at bcdmra.org, so that we know how many hot dogs you have. And then you can print half, put your own drinks. Is it because they have AC motors now that these engines are pulling so much longer trains? than they used to? Yeah, it is.
AC motors can run the school pump.
Okay. Still a lot of grain collected out here that might play, going in. For those of you that are historians, you know that just east of Wyzetta, the Great Northern had its, large yard, there, the grain collection and distribution yard.
What Gary said about the cruise of the GM, Kevin Foley, that still basically the Twin Cities is not, you just still railroad cruise. You know, the trains going down the river are still across cruise. The Superior northbound train is still east side of Superior, so the only thing which the Northern Pacific was doing are the ones up the big way now. You know, state boats and maybe some of the local.
Can you think of any reason why the cruise would have been based on the Lombard?
From Wilmer was like. Once on contracts, the CAW going east, the engineers were all, instead of the Twin Cities, the conductors were all being put on. Wife's grandma ran the Great Northern News stand at the people, and you have to the Great Northern Party. She gave the bench.
Harry was telling us that he was the, his great grandfather, grandfather, he and then his son all worked for the Great Northern. So we'll have him back, he said he'd come to the visit event. We'll have him back. So if you're available on Sunday, Greg Terhar has invited us to come visit his railroad in Brooklyn, which is just a little north
Hey modelers, welcome back to my channel. It's time for an update on my N-scale San Gabriel Packing District mower.
to be able to then scale AO and something pretty. Bring out to
After several months of focusing on Kirsten Road, I have new ideas on how to enhance the San Gabriel Packing District. Before I share those ideas, let's do a quick flyover of the layout to see how it exists today. Going from left to right on my track plan, the first change will be the addition of the Calfane Packing House by N-Scale Architects. The next addition to the left of Standard Oil will be a small fertilizer distribution business. Moving to the right of the railroad crossing, I'm going to use this kit by Randy Brown. It's a stucco depot and very appropriate for this part of Southern California. The last enhancement to the layout will be the inclusion of a 3-track staging yard beyond the current end board. The entrance to the staging will be hidden by a highway overpass. Until I get to work carrying out these changes, let's enjoy a short train as it carries out its switching duties in the San Gabriel Packing District. Well, that's the latest from the San Gabriel Packing District. For those of you going to the Thousand Lakes Region NMRA convention next weekend, I'll be giving a presentation on designing for aesthetics. Stop by and say hi, and let's talk some trains. Until next time.
There you go, friends, and, as I said, now it's 1:51 PM. It's, marvelous time of the day. Take a little time to just cook yourself warmed up. And, let's all meet over at the, Indio High Historical Society, get our picture taken. If you'd like to, drive around the layout or around the Wilmer, again, absolutely pleased about us going on the property, and into the parking lot, either end of the people is. You travel out 71, you can see the other side that they just put in. You see, turn out and switch in the middle of the countryside, that's a good view. The other end, so much to look at. Traffic does slow down. It's, wouldn't tell me when. Go ahead.
People know why they get watching.
Because otherwise they used to come into the lumber and
We turn the train.
thank you.
But I didn't know, I. That out.
Then, tonight we have Fred Eaton all the way from Canada. His name
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg.
Winterpeg.
Winnipeg, yeah. I helped them record it, so we did this 3 or 4 times. So I've seen it. It's a fun presentation. So make sure you come back to that. The computers here, if we have other videos, or if we want to see some other YouTube things. we can do that. The celebration room is taking people, and I think it's going to be open also. Take time to walk through there. If anything else, if you have any complaints to the Twin City Division,
It's $10 a complaint,
Pay
$10 for-
$20 to fix it.
That's pretty reasonable.
It is.
pretty reasonable, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna set a lure and, let this. We get the, oh, I see. The noise went up. This is all totally, I did a presentation today on operations on my layout. My layout used to look like only rocks around. But, it was always fun to be able to play you can do those step ups and the borders coming up the hill. Now I'll just all per. Be welcome to come visit. I mentioned to you today that we have a lot of people that operate in the city. And, we know you're coming, we'll try to get a lot of great people.
You want a particular era?
I do, and this was back, now I've moved up my era to late sixties, so I got more colorful cars. But that's a little bit of history, and, I hope you, stay warm going to the History Center, and I'll be